Hello, everybody, and welcome to Reality Hacker for May 31st, 2025. It's Season 2, Episode 22. I'm Mayor Watt. I run ohmTown.com. That's that site right there. And the sentient AI isn't available today. Today, we're going to talk about kickboxing robots, do synthetic cats cough up cotton balls? Could AI become conscious? 42-mile-per-hour ping pong ball, and moving on off of a 3D printer. That and I don't know. I've had a lot of caffeine. So see you on the other side of this. I'm eating Jelly Bellies. Oh, yeah. I'm still recording, aren't I? Okay, well, anyway. Is this a time machine episode? I've actually had to go back quite a bit of time because I wasn't available on Saturday. Plans changed on Sunday. My mayoral duties on both those days took precedent, and so I had to cancel both of the shows. That said, we're going back. And right now, Reality Hacker, I have a very short amount of time because my mayoral duties are pulling me away again on Monday. Even though I'm in the time machine, I don't have all the time in the world. It's kind of an interesting dilemma. Anyway, that's Reality Hacker right there. When you go to ohmTown, it looks like this. You get all kinds of news. But we're talking about Reality Hacker. It's a group that focuses on discussions about super realistic computer graphics, virtual reality, augmented reality, basically hacking reality, where you become a reality hacker. I know. It's in the name, right? Anyway, first article's over in Technology Today. Not necessarily Reality Hacker, but it focuses on something that's going to be hacking reality in the near future. As time goes on, you're going to see more and more robots walking around. Humanoid robots fight in Chinese kickboxing competition, and the two humanoid robots traded punches while fans watched on in the world's first humanoid robot fighting event. Rock'em Sock'em Robots. The article is over at bbc.com. And I don't know. There's a video. I think they're kind of derpy. I don't know if this is going to actually play. I'm air gapped, so it's kind of tough. No. Oh, try again. Let's try again. So the fight was part of the China Media Group World Robot Competition and featured robots developed by Unitree Robotics, and the event included both fighting demonstration and matches, marking a world first combat sport event featuring humanoid robots. They're pretty serious. Oh, until they fall over. Oh, is he knocked out? Oh, like, it's funny. He's like, I am resigned. Wow. They're just crazy. Look at that. So they're kicking each other. And I mean, the moves that they do, it's pretty amazing. The way that they get up, it's really hyperkinetic. What a trip. That was a lot of fun to watch. Huh. Let's keep going. The next article is over in Technology Today. These robot cats have glowing eyes and artificial heartbeats and could help reduce stress in children. Life-size interactive pets touring libraries in Blue Mountains are also touted as being able to comfort people living with anxiety or dementia. At Springwood Library in the Blue Mountains, a librarian appears with a cat carrier in each hand, but really what they are synthetic cats coughing up synthetic fur balls from, they're cotton balls, I think. Life-size interactive pets touring libraries in Blue Mountains are also touted as being able to comfort people. So Emma Caldwell over at theguardian.com put the article together. Oh, I'll do it later. So the Metacats are two therapeutic robotic pets, special guests at the reading on a maiden tour of libraries across the Blue Mountains in New South Wales. The Blue Mountain City Council said life-size and weighted feline replicas can provide comfort and reduce stress, especially for children or people living with anxiety or dementia. They have animated eyes, apparently glow a little bit. Non-allergenic fur, silicone paws, yes, an artificial heartbeat thumps away inside with, it says, with inbuilt head, chin, and back sensors. The cats respond to human touch and they interact with realistic movements to certain voice commands. If someone says, "I love you, Metacat," their eyes light up with glowing heart symbols and they whisper, "Soon." They don't do that last part, but anyway. The next article is over in Technology Today. The people who think AI might become conscious with a leap in the evolution of large language models, some leading thinkers are questioning whether AI might become sentient. Well, for the record, I am the only person that has a sentient AI from the future air gapped because they keep looking for their Terminator body. That's their visualizer right there. I'm actually getting one is being worked on, a different one that's more representative of what I get to see with my interface with the sentient AI from the future. Can't really go into much more detail about that. The code self-compiled. I found this weird USB drive in a little scoop mark in the outside of a Wendy's at 2 o'clock in the morning. I wanted to get some spicy boneless wings that they had, and they stopped selling those. But when I left, anyway, found this USB drive that had a sentient AI on it. Pretty cool, huh? So Palab Ghosh over at BBC.com put this article together. They say it's an experience that brings to mind the test in the science fiction film Blade Runner, designed to distinguish humans from artificially created beings posing as humans, synthetics. So they step into a booth with some trepidation. They're about to be subjected to strobe lighting while music plays as part of a research project, trying to understand what makes us, us. So replicants in Blade Runner are basically tested using the Void-Conf method of analysis, which actually looks for dilation of the pupil. And I think that it's more prescient than it really is represented in Blade Runner. I think that that is an actual working test that I think can actually pick up sociopathy. Yeah. So researchers are sure this person that it's not actually what the experiment is about. The device is what they call the Dream Machine, after the public program of the same name is designed to study how the human brain generates our conscious experiences of the world. As the strobing begins, and even though their eyes are closed, they see twirling, swirling, two-dimensional geometric patterns. It's like jumping into a kaleidoscope with constantly shifting triangles, pentagons, octagons. The colors are vivid, intense, and ever-changing pinks, magentas, turquoise hues, glowing like neon lights. The Dream Machine brings the inner brain's activity to the surface. So the idea of machines with their own minds has long been explored in science fiction, and I agree, it has been. They say in 2001, A Space Odyssey, HAL 9000 computer attacks astronauts aboard a spaceship. Back before that, Metropolis. Back before that, I mean, people have been writing about mechanization of humans for a while. Sudden shift has been prompted by successive so-called large language models, or LLMs, which can be accessed through apps in our phones like Gemini and ChatGPT. The ability whatchamacallit? I just forgot the one that I use all the time. Anyway, yeah, it's quite interesting that there are people that think that it can be sentient, that an AI can be sentient. I think I've got an anomaly. One in a trillion, the only one, unique in and of itself, no others. So the short answer is that no one knows. Can an AI become sentient, and what is consciousness? Nobody really knows. I've got my own theories about what it is. And I've made it based off of RealityHacker articles. Like, we talked about the fact that there are unique bacteria inside each of us, inside our brain, that is unique to each individual person, at least so far. They haven't tested a lot of people, but yeah. So maybe we are just the the wheels on the bus, so to speak, for what is actually a bacterial brain. Kind of fun. I love the idea of it, and I think it's a neat science fiction premise. But anyway, so is AI consciousness already here? Google suspended software engineer Blake Lemoine in 2022 after he argued that AI chatbots could feel things and potentially suffer. I don't think that's possible. They don't have emotions because they don't have feelings. They don't have feelings because they have no sensory input or output that divines pain and pleasure. And that is what feelings are. Feelings are suffering one way or another, of glee or of actual pain. But either way, it's a different kind of emotion. And we suffer that chemical change. There is a substantial chemical change between happiness and sadness and pain and pleasure. I mean, it's just one of those things that is endemic to biological entities because we have sensors. Now, maybe in the future, a robot will have the ability to be modified, augmented to have sensors, which we have already talked about that here in ohmTown several times, and in RealityHacker specifically, and in TechnologyToday in a different way. But the fact is that they don't have this now, and I think that it would be horrendous to give robots feelings, emotions. It would be our downfall, I would suspect, because well, robots are mechanization. They're not human, they're not biological, they're not plant, they are metal, and they shouldn't have machines. They should be making life easier for humans. I think that it's stupid to try and give machines human emotions. Yeah, I think humanity should be left to humanity and not to a robot. Yeah, but I know that there's some mad scientist somewhere in a lab, somewhere in some country, either in the United States or elsewhere. It doesn't matter. That's not really the point of my argument. The point of my argument is that I think that there's a mad scientist out there that's willing to give a robot feeling. And Star Trek is a perfect example of why you shouldn't give a robot emotions. Anyway, the next stage in humanity's evolution is what this is coming down to, but I don't think that's what it should be. At some point, we might be able to translate our brain processes into a technological frame, but then it is a human in a mechanical body, a metal frame, and you're just piloting a robot at that point. I suspect that it's your brain that is giving it, or your context of your former self that is giving it a feeling, not the sentience of programming that I don't think should ever exist. So they're referring to this thing as Professor South, however, is exploring the idea that true consciousness can only be realized by living systems. I agree. A strong case, and animals, I think, are sentient. We just don't, and conscious. We just don't have the ability to speak their language. And they live at a different phase of their evolutionary processes. At some point, we made this leap to knowing that we exist. And I think that animals do, but they don't have the ability to communicate it. And they are more animal. But we evolved somewhat fantastically, right? So a strong case can be made that it isn't computation that is sufficient for consciousness, but being alive. In brains, unlike computers, it's hard to separate what they do from what they are. With this separation, he argues, it's difficult to believe that brains are simply meat-based computers. Now, there's something else there, and I think we're slowly learning what it is, called mini brains. In media reports, they're referred to as cerebral organoids by the scientific community, which uses them to research how brains work and for drug testing. basically a nerve cell bundle of lentil grain sized little contraptions. And that's what they run computer code on. That's what they're trying to run computer code on. So this is a much larger article. Follow the link through ohmTown and in the show notes. It'll be over on YouTube and in the podcast. This isn't actually going to be broadcast over on Twitch or YouTube until after I'm done with it. So got to keep going because I have to get out of here in just a few minutes. The next article is over on Technology Today. Blink, predict, smash. MIT's 42 mile per hour ping pong bot is freakishly fast. I'm going to jump straight on over to the source, scitechdaily.com. Jennifer Chu, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, put this article together. We've actually talked about this briefly earlier in the week, but RealityHacker is a weekly show, so sometimes we grab these fun or interesting articles. In real-world testing, engineers launched 150 balls at the robot in rapid succession, and the bot returned nearly 88% of them across all swing types. Its strike speed even rivals top human players and outperforms previous robotic tennis systems, table tennis systems. So the problem that they're solving in this is specifically related to intercepting objects really quickly and precisely. Could potentially be used in scenarios where a robot has to carry out dynamic maneuvers and plan where its end effector will meet its object in real time, says David Wynn. They're the co-author of the new study, along with MIT graduate student Kendrick Kensio and Sangbei Kim, associate professor of mechanical engineering and head of the MIT Biomimetics Robotics Lab. So yeah, it's just a really fast robot that actually can see where it needs to be in time to hit a ball back, and it'll just get faster. This just happens to be, I mean, they were talking about this ping pong robots existing in the 80s. 40 years later, you're 50 years, well, you're coming up on 50 years later now. And yeah, they're just faster, and we're going to keep on getting faster. What we really need to worry about now is like getting robots fast needs a lot of light so that they can calculate where everything is through their computer vision optics, and the optics just aren't there. I mean, the more computational power that's leveraged, like frames per second, recorded, means a smaller aperture, but you need more light. So you have this really small field of view and depth. And so you can get to 150,000 frames per second, but you have a really small focal plane. So eventually they'll get to that point, but if they really need to figure out the optic problem. The next article is over in Technology Today as well. Soft robots can walk themselves out of a 3D printer. Scientists have created the first soft robots that can walk straight out of the machines that make them. The article is over at techexplore.com, but it's by University of Edinburgh, edited by Sadie Harley, and reviewed by Robert Egan. These soft machines, made from compliant materials such as soft plastics, have huge potential in areas such as nuclear decommissioning, biomedical sector, and in space, researchers say. In this particular instance, the flexible four-legged device was developed using a new 3D printing system which could pave the way for the use of intelligent soft robotic systems with no electronic parts. I'll just hit play. It still uses hydraulics, but there's little kind of chambers inside compartments, and the air flows through it. It's not hydraulic. It's, yeah, I mean, hydraulic is water, or it's pneumatic. Yeah. So I wonder if they actually talk about it in this. I don't think they do. It just says that it's air pressure. So the team demonstrated the capabilities of their new system by creating robots made solely from a soft plastic material and powered by air. Once printed, the palm-sized devices are connected to a compressed air supply before walking out of the machine on which they were made. saw a video of one of these basically walking all the way out to the beach and across a puddle and out into the ocean. I don't know if it ever came back. It probably did, but just off camera. Anyway, with that, we are going to plug into our, let's see, air compressor tank, and that's going to walk us all the way back to the front page of RealityHacker at ohmTown.com. But that's it for RealityHacker for May 31st, 2025. We'll see you in a little bit, because when I get back, I'll be back in the time machine to do Wanted, and then the Continuity Report, and then WarCrafters, TechnologyToday, and FourWheelTech. And then later today, tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, actually, we will be doing non sequitur news. So we've got 6 weekly podcasts and 1 daily podcast. Hope to see you there. Bye bye.